Hey, parents of teens and tweens, it is so easy to fall into the trap of thinking that because your child's body looks mostly grown up, that their brains must be too, right? And then they do something that makes you shake your head and think, what is wrong with you? You look like an adult. I know you want to be an adult, but you aren't even close to acting like one. So I'm going to invite you to try an experiment and see what you learn. I actually did this several years ago, and I found it to be very helpful. I spent some time remembering myself at the age of the teenager whose behavior was really driving me crazy at the moment. And it really helped me to be more compassionate and more patient because I saw pieces of myself in them. And I'm really interested that my journey through adolescence matches pretty closely with the developmental patterns that show up in research about the adolescent brain. I'm going to share my experience as it corresponds to the brain science. And as I do, I hope you'll do some remembering of your own and see what comes up. I'm going to screen share with you here. So there's me in high school with my then boyfriend, now husband of actually 37 years, at senior prom. And the other one is my senior picture. I thought I was so grown up then, right? And now I'm going to take a step back to me at the beginning of adolescence, me in sixth grade. I was still pretty shy at that point in my life, but I had a solid group of friends. So I remember feeling pretty emotionally and socially secure. And, we were top dogs in elementary school in sixth grade, right? And then came puberty, full onslaught. So I'm going to share a book title with you, a really good book to read. It's called In the Age of Opportunity, Lessons from the New Science of Adolescence by Dr. Lawrence Steinberg. And he writes, around the time of puberty, the limbic system becomes more easily aroused. During this time, teenagers become more emotional, experiencing and displaying higher highs and lower lows. They're more sensitive to the opinions and evaluations of others, especially their peers. Which takes me to the next picture, which is obviously neither one of these is me. And that's because I don't have any pictures of me in seventh or eighth grade. My parents may have them, but I wouldn't even want them in my photo album. That's how much I didn't like me in those years. I remember crying through most of seventh grade. My hair was oily. My nose and chin competed for how many blackheads they could produce between bedtime and breakfast. My clothes were never the right clothes. And if my best friend wasn't paying me enough attention, I was sure she was going to desert me for someone more sophisticated. I wanted a boyfriend, but I became tongue-tied anytime a boy came within 2 feet of me. Didn't know what to say, didn't know what to do. The tough girls in PE ridiculed me daily for my coordination and my coolness deficits. I went to school. I did well in school. I went to church, to ballet, to cello lessons. But those events are really a blur compared to the very intense memories of my inner self and my social life. According to Dr. Steinberg, mature self-control has a now you see it, now you don't quality because the relevant brain circuits here in the executive functioning system and the frontal lobe just aren't fully mature yet. So many adolescents who displayed excellent judgment and good self-regulation under optimal conditions, read when they're not stressed or when they're by themselves, boy, they just don't when they are tired or stressed or in groups with other teenagers. So by sophomore year, 15, I had tired of my shy, insecure self, and I was determined to learn how to be assertive and outgoing. Unfortunately, there were no magic wands to assist with that transformation, so I made all sorts of mistakes along the way. And my friends and I were good students. We never got in trouble. We held leadership positions in our respective sports and clubs, and yet we engaged in some pretty risky behaviors that would have left our parents, had they known, gasping, "What were you thinking?" And when I look back at why I made those choices, I can see that there was a certain excitement in breaking the rules because I was such a rule follower. And stepping out of my good girl role made me feel daring and reckless instead of shy and careful. I was so tired of being shy and careful. And there was this thrilling energy in the air that freed me from my everyday ho-hum self that I thought I was. So flash forward a few years. During the late teens and early 20s, adolescents get better at controlling their impulses, about thinking about the long-term consequences of their decisions, and resisting peer pressure. So this is me at college graduation. We were fiancés by then, my husband and I. And my college self gradually, very gradually, transitioned to making more consistently good decisions. But even as I appeared to be outwardly acting more adult-like, I couldn't help feeling like I was pretending. I remember grading papers as a student teacher and feeling somehow like my 7-year-old self, playing school with my siblings in the basement. It just didn't seem real. And while I knew I wanted to be a teacher, I wasn't driven or passionate. I was just going through the motions. So, interestingly, brain researchers have learned that the brain continues to mature all the way into the early to mid-20s. And so, as I look back, I noticed that my husband and I married the summer after graduation. I was 22, and it was navigating that adult world that finally pushed me into full-fledged adult thinking, teaching in my own classroom, managing money, working through marital conflicts with commitment, all gradually helped me start to settle into feelings of competence and confidence that I had really been searching for throughout my whole adolescence. My passion and drive kicked in. They propelled me toward new opportunities and learning and strong opinions about who I wanted to be in the world. So looking back, I can see that my journey through adolescence was arduous at times. It was joyful at others, kind of like life in general. And I'm sure my parents expressed worry behind closed doors, just like I have, and just like every parent does. And I would like to encourage you that when you get impatient with your kids' attitudes, with their baffling decisions, with the bumps that show up in the road, try remembering back to who you were at their age. Because I think that remembering that we were once where they are, and we had to go through a process to become who we are now. That can help us be partners on their journey instead of judges of their journey. And I have to say that my husband and I credit the Positive Discipline program with giving us a foundational framework as well as really helpful tools for parenting our kids with kindness and firmness at the same time. It's an authoritative parenting model, not authoritarian and not permissive. And we look back on our son's teen years with fondness. We had our moments, since we're not perfect and neither are our kids, but positive discipline tools really helped us navigate those moments and come out the other end with respect and learning and love. Positive discipline can help you too, whether you're really struggling with your relationship with your teen or if things are going pretty well and you would just like some solid tools for helping you and your child go from good to great. Every Monday from April 10th to May 15th, we have 6 weeks, we will look at a variety of parenting challenges and how to manage them with kindness and firmness so that as we figure out what to do during those challenging parenting moments, we're using them as opportunities to help our teens grow important traits like responsibility, respect for self and others, emotional awareness and self-regulation, work ethic, integrity, self-confidence, and so much more. Each class, I'll flash the schedule for you again, each class is set up as an individual experience, so you can come to the ones that work for your schedule or come to all of them. I hope you will. The more you come, the more tools you'll have for navigating these teen years with confidence and even excitement as you shepherd your child towards successful young adulthood. So if you would like more information and if you'd like to register, you can go to my website, evadwight.com. And I'm going to stop screen sharing here so I can see you better. Please feel free to contact me if you have questions. If you need to backtrack, my contact information was on the screen there. I hope you'll share this information with other parents of teens and tweens, and I hope you'll join me for these classes. We're going to have fun learning together. And you'll get to experience that great feeling of not being alone in your parenting challenges. And total bonus, you will get some great tools for your parenting toolbox. So again, contact me if you have questions. Try this experiment on your own, see what comes up for you as you consider your own adolescent development and how it coordinates with the scientific research. And I hope to see you soon.